Hello adventurers, I'm Gray and welcome back to Slime Rancher, where we are nearing the end. These guys have too much fruit and I don't know what to do about that because it's already on the lowest distribution. They just keep throwing it everywhere. You guys are messy eaters and you need to get your act fixed, okay? So, there's actually not too much left that I think would be interesting to show on video, and I was thinking that it would be a good time to end the series sometime fairly soon, perhaps within the next week or so. Next week I think will be the last 2 episodes, which it's been a long journey. I really enjoy this game and I'm going to keep playing it on my own, but it's just there's not too much left to show in video. We do have a drone here and that we can get to do stuff. However, we don't really have any food around here that the drone can deliver, nor do we have a plort collector around here for it to deliver to, or a marketplace I should say. I could set up a marketplace and then I could see how well the drone works for this. I'm curious just to try it. So what's actually, could I set it to automatically deliver plorts into the refinery here? Let's try getting it to target plorts. What type of plort should I get it to target? I can only get it to target plorts in general. Oh no, I can't pick the specific one. How about all plorts? Let's say all plorts from corrals. And we're going to deliver it to the refinery here. Let's see how it goes. Are you going to wake up? Going to wake up? Hello? You're going to do your thing? Maybe they'll do their thing on their own time. I'm not sure if they're going to actually pick up the plorts from in here, or if they have to be plorts on the ground. Like, let me try dropping one off. You going to notice that? Hello? Hey, jerk. Hey, stupid. Wake up, stupid. Wake up, wake up. Well, it looks like all the slime science stuff that was going on over here is good. We got some glass shards, and now it's exploded. We have these basically scattered everywhere, so hopefully we get some cool resources out of it. Some jellystone and slime fossils. And I'm hoping that we can get ourselves a slime stage, or a slime hoop, or some stuff like that. Some fun stuff that we can experiment with. Because that's stuff I haven't tried yet. Okay. These things are mostly going to drop the same. Hopefully I can find where I put all these things, because they're going to be pretty scattered around this whole area. Some more jellystone, a lot of jellystone. I mean, we did need a lot more jellystone. What have you got? Oop, more glass shards and jellystone. How much did we plant? Was it like 10? I think it was 10 of everything or something like that. Gimme. Oh, it's new. Okay. Once this is cleared out, let's throw in a refinery link. Here we go. Glass shards. And while I'm doing this, I'm just going to talk about sort of what's been going on with my school and everything. Because there's been some interesting stuff. Of course, with the whole virus and all that stuff going on, it's been a bit of a strange semester. Everything's been online. I've been going to basically all the meetings that our class is having on Zoom. If you don't know what Zoom is, it's basically an online conference call program where you can bring in a lot of classmates, like a ton of them, and you can all meet up with the teacher and they can tell you stuff and it's all live and you can turn on and off your face cam and audio and all that stuff, so it's pretty convenient. It has some bad press recently because apparently they don't have very great security and some people have hacked into different calls and stuff like that before and they're trying to fix that. But all in all, we've been using it a lot, so. But I've sort of taken on a bit of a role for our class as the online guy, basically. I've been the guy who shows up, because I'm never the type who misses class. I never miss class if at all possible. There's a lot of people at our school who will like not show up if they're tired, or if they have something else that they want to do, or if they feel like it's not necessary. But I always go to class, and I'm doing the same thing right now, where I always go to every call our teachers have, even if it's just like office hours and stuff like that. I always go, and then I'll summarize everything that we talk about into our class's group chat. We have a group chat, a GroupMe account that our whole class is subscribed to pretty much. So I would just summarize everything and put it in there. And people have been really thankful to me for that because a lot of them can't get to meetings because they have work and stuff like that, so it really helps them. But I've sort of like, in a way, this virus has given me some opportunity because I've always been pretty good with internet stuff and technology and all that, and a lot of people aren't quite so good. So I've been able to help out in that regard and sort of show off in that way throughout the virus going on, throughout this pandemic. And I think part of it's helped like quite a lot actually. Like this whole virus has helped a lot in the positions I'm running for right now and all the elections I'm doing at my school. Because I'm basically running for, like, everything. Like, I'm running for a lot of stuff at our school, a lot of leadership roles. And it's pretty crazy, to be honest. Like, next year is gonna go ahead and straight up say, next year is gonna be the hardest year of my life. It will be very difficult. And I don't think any year, like, I know this is very premature, but just from my current perspective, I'm not sure if any year is gonna top next year in difficulty in my life. We'll see. I mean, it's premature because next year hasn't started yet, but I've heard a lot of stories about year 2 of pharmacy school, about how it's the most difficult year of pharmacy school, and I already have 5 leadership positions, and I'm running for 2 more over this next week. So if I win everything, that's 7 positions that I'm having to monitor and, like, be active in over the next year, and I'm active in every organization at our school, even beyond just holding a leadership role. So it's a lot of stuff, a lot of things to keep track of. And I'm going to try my best not to go insane. I mean, I enjoy it. I have a bit of a fake it till you make it mentality going on here. It's interesting because I came into pharmacy school not knowing much about it at all. I felt like a bit of an outsider. A lot of people worked as a technician or something like that for a while, and I didn't have any of that experience. Everything was new, everything was strange, and I never held any sort of leadership position in anything before, and now all of a sudden I'm running for everything. And I'm hoping that if I keep on, like, pushing myself to do this type of stuff, then eventually it'll feel normal to me, and I won't be such, like, an introvert, like, not willing to do anything type of person. But it's been a lot. But I feel like I've done pretty well this semester. I've done pretty well, or this past year. I've done pretty well to get a good impression of myself, I think, to my class, and to be kind, and to help everyone out, and I've been quite generous, and I plan to keep doing that, to be helpful to everyone. I think have I looted all of them? I'm not sure if there's any more machines around here. But I'm running for, like, class president next week. The election's next Tuesday to Thursday. So I'm going to let you know how that goes in next Friday, Slime Rancher, probably. Actually, I'm not sure. It depends on if I record this weekend or next week. But it's gonna, you guys are gonna know, because if I win, I want to brag about it. If not, I want to talk about it anyway. But I feel like I have a pretty decent chance. So the 2 elections I have left for school are class president, which I would say I have about a 70% chance of winning. Like, all the impressions I've gotten from my class are really good. People keep messaging me, they're like, you need to run, dude, I'm gonna vote for you. If you don't nominate yourself, I'm gonna nominate you, and all this stuff. And people have been really kind to me, and I've been really appreciating that. We do have a guy who's currently president who won at the beginning of this first year, and I ran the beginning of first year, and I came in 2nd place. So, but I've heard a lot of people say that they'd rather have me as president than them, even though they're running again. So I'm hoping the incumbent effect isn't too powerful. I'd be a little bit sad, honestly, because I feel like I've been doing more than the current president has to help our class, to be honest. But I'm hoping. I feel like I have a pretty good chance. But I'm going to be a little bit lenient and say 70%, not like any higher than that. And then I have another election, which is the last election I have, because I already have 5 roles guaranteed for next year. The last election I have is president-elect of an organization at our school, a pretty big organization. And that's basically the person who transitions to be president the 3rd year. And this probably, if I get that position, it's going to be the toughest position that I'll have next year. Because a lot of my positions do require a lot of work, but I can work together with the team on a lot of things. But president-elect has to really learn what to do. I still need more Jellystone. And where do I get Royal Jelly again? Okay, I was looking up Royal Jelly to figure out where it's at, and it seems like it comes straight out of a regular apiary. So I'm just gonna plant all this stuff around here again. I thought I planted 10 of each, but I think I planted 5 because it only lets you plant 5 of each at a time. So I'm just gonna do that again, leave it running while I go explore, and continue talking about what I've been talking about, which is the organization that I'm running for. So it's a big one. It's called the Student National Pharmaceutical Association, or SNAPA, and I'm running for president-elect of that, and they need a first-year pharmacy student to run for this because they need to spend a year learning and then transition to president in the 3rd year. So, but there's only 2 really active P1s or first-year pharmacy students running, or who could run, I think. I mean, more people could run, but there's only 2 who I think have a chance to win, which is me and another student who I know. And that's because we've been very active. We've gotten, like, close with the leadership right now. We went on big convention trips to like conferences and stuff like that across the country and did a lot of that type of stuff. And the thing is, I feel like the other person, the other P1 who's been as active as I was, if not more so, I feel like they have a better chance of winning than I do. And I think this is the only thing I'm running for, that someone else has a better chance of winning. Just because they've been so active in the organization that it's like, it could be considered more active than I am, for sure. Even though I went to like a big regional conference with the leadership and traveled across the country for it and all this stuff. Like, he went to a second conference, which is only like a couple people went to, which was in New York. And then he also has held a leadership role in that organization over this past year as one of like the executive team, whereas I have not. I haven't been involved in leadership in the organization because I only realized I loved it so much after I went on that conference trip this past semester. So I feel like they have a pretty good chance of winning. In fact, I'd say my odds of winning that one is about 20%, probably. So not that great. I'm still hoping. At the same time, though, I have a pretty easygoing mentality for the most part, which you might not think so when you hear me talk about all these things I'm doing, but if you think I'm stressing out, don't worry about me. I'm fine. I don't stress over much. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm very fortunate that I can like do a lot of stuff and not worry about it much, kind of just go with the flow, go with the wind. Because my life goals are like, they're strange. They're not what people would expect. It's weird. My brother had like, I don't want to talk too much about personal things, but my brother had depression for quite a while, and so I've learned that I really hate stressing over things. I don't want to have depression or anything like that. So I just told myself I'm just not going to stress over things, and over time that's sort of faked it till you make it. It's happened. I don't really stress over much now, which is nice. It's nice to not have to worry too much about certain things. But yeah, I mean, I'm just doing all this stuff because I want to do as many new things as possible. And that's sort of my mentality. I just like trying new things. I love new opportunities, just grabbing hold of things and seeing what I can do with it. Because it's fun. Not because I want to stress out or because I want to put out my resume or anything, even though it is nice that I can put it on like a CV or a resume. But more than anything, it's fun to push yourself and to try new stuff, I feel like. And if I were to describe my life goal, it's a little bit embarrassing, but my dream for the future is literally, this is going to be such like a weeb or a gamer dream or whatever, especially for someone who's like going into medicine. You wouldn't think that this is like a dream of someone. I just want real VR. I want like SAO style real VR. And I want to be able to like just enjoy going on adventures in those virtual worlds. And I want to help a lot of people, of course. I want to spend like at least the first part of my life helping as many people as I can in medicine. But I also want to save money and things like that as well. That way, like, when stuff like real VR and that type of technology starts to come out, I'm able to afford it. I want to be one of the first. Because it just looks like so much fun. Like, I was like, how do I become a hero? Go on these adventures and stuff like that. And I can travel the world, which I want to do at some point. I love traveling. I love that type of thing. Tourism and all that. But what about exploring other worlds through VR? And playing Half-Life Alyx has really like helped to push that even further, because like VR right now is still an emerging technology. There's still a lot of problems with it. I'm hunting for treasure pods right now and talking, by the way. It's still emerging. There's still a lot of progress to be made, and yet Half-Life Alyx is so immersive, and I love it so much. Like it's a great game, and if they can take that sort of base, and listening to the interview they did with Gabe Newell and about how he's also very excited about this technology, like if they can take that and push it further and make real VR where you feel like you're in another world and experiencing, you can feel the wind on your bag, you can feel the cold or the heat, and experience everything firsthand. If they can do that, then that's what I want to live for. That's what I want to live for. And I feel like they're going to do that within my life. I really do. I've read estimates that within like the next 20 years or so, they could have that type of technology, at least in its infancy. Glow sticks. So these luminescent devices are similar to other elements of the ruins, are not nearly as old. Alright. How many loot boxes? We have 7 left in this general area. We also have the islands that's that way. Could I fly to that island? I mean, the odds are low, but there's a chance I could. I want to take a look. I'm very excited for the future of technology, though. Very, very excited. I love following this stuff. It's a whole lot of fun. Honestly, like, technology is such an interesting concept to me because it's sort of like humans' perception of time. Like, you feel like technology is always progressing very slowly. Like, why don't we have flying cars yet? Why don't we have all these things? And if you look back, though, like, instead of thinking it that way, if you just look back a little bit and see how much we progressed in the last 20 or so years... Oh, I can fly over here. Nice. Just like in the past 20 years. Like, when I was... like I was 1 year old 20 years ago, like barely once, so I wouldn't have remembered much, but like just when I was a kid, so going back like 15 years, there wasn't like a YouTube. The internet was very new. Like I didn't know much about what was going on the internet. The most experience I had with games was the original Nintendo, or I had the Game Boy Advance, like the first version of Game Boy Advance, and also I had one of those big bulky white like box PCs, and I played some games off discs like SimCity and Roller Coaster Tycoon. That type of stuff. And like cell phones were not much of a thing. Those guys like meat. Whatever, I don't really care that much about you. You don't give me too much. But like I remember the phones back then were like really bulky if you had a cell phone. And all that stuff. And if you go back even further, then people had like PDAs and pagers and stuff like that. And cell phones weren't really a thing. The internet wasn't a thing. And all that stuff. It's amazing to see how much things have changed over the past like couple decades. And just a couple decades in the future, I'm very excited to see what will happen. Change comes slow. It feels slow when you're living in the moment. It's only when you look back and think about it that you can really consider it. And I had my mind blown fairly recently, just thinking of like... I saw some Reddit posts. Oh, another vault! There's another vault over here. Oh boy, I should set up a teleporter here. Do I have a teleporter? I do not. Okay, well, for now I'm gonna start looting some treasure from this place. For now I'm not gonna start looting treasure from this place. I had my mind blown a little bit recently just because I was like considering... Like it was a little bit weird, a weird thought, but people were talking about how people's perception of time is basically non-existent. Like people have a really hard time conceptualizing time. That sounds a bit redundant, but like that's something that people just can't do that well. Like think about what you'll be doing throughout the next 10 seconds, and you can probably like put it into words or something like that. Like I know I'll be playing Slime Rancher in the next 10 seconds, but it's hard to fully picture exactly the process, like the next steps you're going to do within the next period of time, because you never know for certain. Things could happen that you can't predict. Or you might move in a way that you didn't think you were going to move on your initial thought. And it's impossible to conceive. And that's just like 10 seconds in the future. Like if you're doing like nothing right now, like just sitting perfectly still, you could perhaps do that. But move on a minute. What are you going to be doing a minute from now? Like what's the exact things you're going to be doing? Or maybe an hour. An hour from now. A day? Do you know what you're going to do tomorrow? What time are you going to wake up? Like what are you going to do first? You're going to brush your teeth? You're going to eat food? You're going to take a shower? Or you're just going to stay in bed another hour and hit snooze? You're going to go to work? Probably not, because no one has a job right now. What are you going to do there? What are you going to say to your coworkers? What's your like plans for lunch and stuff like that? Like you can't really conceptualize everything at once. And it gets worse and worse the further along in time you get. Like 5 years from now, you can plan out what you want to do 5 years from now. What's your goals for 5 years? That's something you can do. Like how can I improve myself over this time? You can think about that, but you never know for certain what you're going to be doing or what's going to happen by then. Like, one thing that blows my mind is when I think, like, 10 years. Like, 10 years from now, you know, I can think about what I'll be doing. I'll be at work, you know, have some sort of a job, making some money, all that type of stuff. I'll be done with school, hopefully, at that point. But 10 years, like, when you're older, it doesn't feel like that long a time. But when I look back now, 10 years ago from now, I was 11 years old. I was in middle school, I believe, like early middle school, 10 years ago. And that is insane. Because for me, middle school is like a whole separate time for me right now. It's like impossible for me to think of myself in middle school now because it feels like it was ages ago. But that was only 10 years. And 10 years from now, 10 years in the future for me right now feels like it'll be a lot less different than what 10 years ago me would think of 10 years from then. If that makes sense. Like, the older you get, the less your life changes over the course of time, I feel like. And I think that's a bit of a shame. I feel like that's why I want the real VR and stuff like that. Like, I want my life to be a constant adventure. I want to always be doing new things. I don't want to get stuck doing the same thing over and over and over until eventually I just like stay at home all the time and then just like don't have a job anymore, retire, and I don't do anything. That sounds so boring, so like nothingness to me. And I don't want to do that. I know, it might just be young me speaking of how I don't want to be like a boomer or whatever. I don't want to just stay at home and do nothing all the time, but I feel like we have the opportunity. Like, I hear a lot of people say, we're born too late to explore the Earth, but too early to explore the universe. But I don't think that that means that you should stop yourself from seeing all that the world has to offer and trying new things. There's always opportunities to do that. And I feel like we have the unique chance to sort of bring that. That's why I'm going for real VR. If we're too late to explore the Earth and too early to explore the universe, we're at the perfect time to explore all the other virtual universes. And that's my dream. That's what I'm hoping for. Whew. I don't know, somehow this conversation has gotten pretty deep. I don't know what the plan was for this episode, but this certainly wasn't the plan. I enjoyed this one though. I enjoyed it. I feel pretty emotional right now, not gonna lie. Like I was tearing up a little bit in the middle. Like that was good. I like that. Hopefully you all did too. I'm gonna end off this episode of Slime Rancher here. You know what? I love you all. If you guys enjoyed this video of Slime Rancher, I'd appreciate a like, comment, or a subscription. It really does help out. Man, you guys really killed the mood. Dang muck, guys. Get out of here. Freaking... Oh wait, no, I need those. Run away! Run away! Hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you all on the next adventure!